So I kind of thought of this as like your Wonder Woman phase when you are most energetic and most extroverted. But it means that your body is actually looking for those things around you. So you're gonna notice the chips, you're gonna notice the donuts, and you're gonna smell a cookie from a mile away because your body wants you to have that high sugar, high fat, yummy treat. How we can take all of this information and use it to structure a workout program that works with each of these phases so that we can keep our fitness journey going for the long haul. Hola muchachos, welcome back to the channel. This video is dedicated to all of my ladies out there who want to crush their fitness goals and also take care of their bodies for the long haul. Now I wanted to make this video for a few different reasons. One, as a woman who enjoys working out and leads an active lifestyle, I wanted to better understand how the menstrual cycle plays a role in how our cravings and motivation and energy fluctuate throughout the month. And also, as a personal trainer who has the pleasure of working with many lovely ladies, I wanted to dive into what the science says so that I can better program their sessions to continue to work with their body rather than against it. And honestly, I was really just curious about the topic. I hadn't seen or read a lot of information on this, or none that had been broadly broadcasted, I think, to women out there. So I wanted to research and put together a video that I think would help any ladies out there who happen to stumble across my channel to, understand a phenomenon that we all go through every month. And when your energy dips, or when you feel unmotivated, or like you just can't drag yourself to do a heavy, intense workout, this video will hopefully understand the mechanisms that are in place for why that is and how that might play into what exercise draws you at different points in the month. So in this video, I will attempt to address the following 3 points. First, what happens to our energy levels around our cycle? Second, a few key hormones involved in the menstrual cycle and how they play a role in our energy and cravings. And lastly, how you can program your workouts to work with your body as energy levels fluctuate throughout the month. First, let's start with a few definitions so that we're all on the same page throughout the video. Starting with the menstrual cycle. It's the monthly cycle of changes in the ovaries and the lining of the uterus, starting with the preparation of an egg for fertilization. Now, the menstrual cycle has 3 distinct phases: the follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. The follicular phase starts on day 1 of menstruation and lasts for roughly 2 weeks leading up to ovulation. Ovulation is roughly a 24-hour period when the egg is ready to be fertilized. Then we have the luteal phase, which, like the follicular phase, is roughly 2 weeks following ovulation leading up to your next period. All right, let's talk hormones. 2 that I want to mention here are estrogen and progesterone. There are actually 3 different kinds of estrogen. The first is estrone, which occurs only in postmenopausal women. Then we have estriol, only for those women that are pregnant. And for the purposes of today's video, we're going to be focusing on the estrogen type called estradiol, which is for menstruating women. And the second hormone I wanted to focus on in today's video is progesterone, which is responsible for preparing the body, though specifically the womb space, for pregnancy in the event that the dropped egg is fertilized. Now, I know that there are some women out there who are on the pill, and this does affect how you experience your menstrual cycle each month, so I just wanted to make a quick note on that. First is the kind of hormonal birth control that you're taking. There are generally 2 types. One is either synthetic estrogen and progesterone, and the second is progesterone only. Some types of hormonal birth control prevent pregnancy by stopping ovulation, which means that your energy levels will stay relatively consistent throughout the month and you won't have as many hormonal fluctuations. And I know that this is actually a really big draw for many women to go on the pill because they may find that their PMS is really intense or they have really severe cramps during their period. So by going on the pill, you often relieve many of these symptoms, and you also get the added benefit many times of your skin being extra radiant and your hair being shiny. So just know that if you're on the pill, you won't suffer the intense hormonal fluctuations that those who are not taking it will, which is what the rest of this video is going to be focusing on. All right, let's talk energy levels. So remember those 3 phases I mentioned earlier, the follicular phase, ovulation, and luteal phase? Well, each of those phases corresponds to higher or lower levels of estrogen and progesterone. So starting off with the follicular phase. In this phase, estrogen levels rise, which translates to an increase in strength and energy. This was actually really surprising to read because the follicular phase includes your period. And I know a lot of women don't feel like they are just bursting at the seams with energy while they're on their cycle. But I guess in the time after your period and the week leading up to ovulation, these levels do rise and cause you to have an increase in strength and energy. So maybe it's just those first few days when you feel kind of meh, and then things get better. All right, and the second phase is when things get fun. During ovulation, your estrogen and progesterone levels peak. So I kind of thought of this as like your Wonder Woman phase when you are most energetic and most extroverted. So this is the time to plan your social events, to do that marathon because you're feeling great. Unfortunately though, as the poem goes, nothing gold can stay. So if during ovulation you didn't conceive a baby, your egg wasn't fertilized, you then enter the luteal phase, in which your estrogen levels drop, your energy also drops, your PMS kicks in, and your cravings for all of the yummy food around you really start to roar. All right, now it's time for some crazy stats and facts that I found in my research for this video. Are you ready? The first is that there was a study done by McNeil et al. That found that women in the luteal phase of their period had an increased olfactory sensitivity and explicit wanting for high-fat foods, which is just fancy science language to say that in the luteal phase of their cycle, women were more sensitive to smelling yummy shit. They wanted high-fat, highly palatable foods, and their noses actually were more sensitive to detecting when these things were around. I mean, isn't that just like a sick joke that when you're leading up to your period, not only do you have these PMS symptoms that most women experience, but it means that your body is actually looking for those things around you. So you're gonna notice the chips, you're gonna notice the donuts, and you're gonna smell a cookie from a mile away because your body wants you to have that high sugar, high fat, yummy treat. This is also linked to the fact that a decrease in estrogen, which happens in the luteal phase as your body prepares for your next period, is tied to dopaminergic neurotransmission, which is just a fancy scientific way of saying your motivation to seek pleasurable experiences increases. And in this case specifically, your cravings for high-fat, high-sugar foods increases. If you're interested in learning more about the hormone dopamine and its relation to motivation, I'll link to a fabulous podcast by a guy named Dr. Huberman in the description box below. It's lengthy, super in-depth, but really cool and applies also to life outside of the menstrual cycle, outside of this video. And the last crazy stat I have for you is that an increase of roughly 300 calories a day was measured in women during their luteal phase leading up to their period, when PMS is happening, as opposed to the averages they had in the follicular phase, in the first part of their cycle. And I'm sure this doesn't come as a surprise to any of my ladies out there watching. This just confirms what we already knew, that in the days leading up to our period, all we want to do is be comfortable. We want to have yummy food and an ample supply of chocolate on hand, maybe stay at home and binge watch our favorite Netflix series, and the idea of a sweaty, intense workout is the last thing on any of our minds, right? Yeah, but that actually leads very nicely into the final part of today's video. How we can take all of this information and use it to structure a workout program that works with each of these phases so that we can keep our fitness journey going for the long haul and take care of our bodies. All right, let's take a whole menstrual cycle, 30-day window to plan out how you can structure your workouts. So capitalizing on the energy boost we may feel in the follicular phase into ovulation, this is when you can program your strength and hypertrophy focused workouts. So if you're trying to build up a specific muscle group, be it your shoulders or your bum or whatever, or if there's a class that you particularly enjoy going to at your gym that is quite intense and, resistance heavy, this is the time to do it in the follicular phase leading up to ovulation. During the second half of your cycle, from the luteal phase up to your next period, is when you want to start to take things down a notch. Maybe go into more mobility training or functional training, or you can keep the hypertrophy training theme, but maybe just lower the weight and increase the reps. And in the late luteal phase, the week leading up to your next period, is when I would really just suggest listening to your body and what you want. Some women may find benefit in doing a workout and sweating. They may feel like that's what serves them well. And some women may say, nope, not feeling it. I'm gonna do yoga, go for a light walk, swim, dance in my living room. Whatever it is, just make sure that you're honoring your body and working with those energy dips or, peaks as you have them. And one last thing to note here is that it's important to remember that your fitness journey is a marathon, not a sprint. So please honor the changes that your body goes through every month. It's beautiful being a woman. We have many phases of change throughout our lives, and just do your best to work with your body rather than against it. If you liked this video, then make sure you click here to learn all about the benefits of weightlifting for women. And don't forget to subscribe to join our beautiful family. I upload new videos every single week. Thank you all so much for watching. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll catch you back here very soon. Ciao.